I did my project on heuristics. Heuristics are fast and frugal ways of making decisions, but don't require all of the information that is in the environment. It just requires a little bit of information that you already have stored in your brain. The heuristics I'm going to talk about today are the representativeness, availability, anchoring and adjustment, confidence heuristic, the tallying, and the take the best, and then the common is moral. You probably can't see this. I'm very sorry, Dr. Jacobsen, but we're working with what I got. It's a mess. I'm sorry. Okay, so the representativeness heuristic is based on similarity to a prototype, and a prototype is just it's something it's a picture that you have in your brain for when you hear a certain thing. Some examples of a prototype are nerd, jock, prep, granny, etc. So, to put this in perspective, when you think of a granny or you think of an old woman, the term granny probably comes to mind. Or when you think of a nerd, you think of a dude with glasses who has bad skin, very pimply, very acne prone, and probably has bad teeth or wears braces. And then when you think of a jock, you think of a football player, really sporty dude, really not very nice. It really just deals with stereotypes, and everything that I just listed is a stereotype. The availability heuristic deals with how available is the information or is the event. So it's how frequent the thing, the event, object, person is brought up in the media or in your mind, just how easy it comes to mind. So all of my pictures are based on the availability heuristic, really. I'm going to start moving this way. This olive-looking graph is availability heuristic but simplified. So the green is all of the information that you have in your environment that is available to you. But that's wrong. But the red is the information that you choose to look at and the information that you actually use. Can you still see me? Okay. So a really good example from when you're thinking about the availability heuristic is 9/11 and how people after 9/11, they were really scared of flying. And even today, 17 years later, I still personally have a fear of flying because of 9/11, even though I was a baby and it's just a mess. This graph shows the number of deaths in a commercial aircraft, like just a regular airplane. So this lighter blue, I don't know if you can see it, but this lighter blue part is the deaths from 9/11, and the darker blue is just other, so regular crashes. There's a very steep increase of deaths and then a drop in the 1990s. And even with this low amount of deaths from airplane crashes, people are still scared of flying due to how accessible this memory is, or even just the thought of it. People are still more afraid of flying on planes than car crashes because plane crashes are more talked about in the news, more horror stories are about them. You don't really hear about car crashes. Moving back over here. Okay, so the next heuristic I'm going to talk about is the anchoring and adjustment. With anchoring and adjustment, you start with a basic value or a starting value, which is the anchor, and then you adjust based on that anchor. So a good example of this one is the portion size effect. When there's more food on your plate, you're going to want to finish that food and you're going to eat more, which leads to an increase in obesity in Americans. I'm a good example of that. Gotta add some humor. The next heuristic I'm going to talk about is the confidence heuristic. And this is one of the ones that I found from my sources because representativeness, availability, and anchoring and adjustment were all talked about, and I knew them before from AP psychology and from our textbook. So the confidence heuristic says that people are more confident when they know they're right or when they believe that they're right. This helps with persuasion, and it's kind of a persuasion tactic. A good example of the confidence heuristic is our president. Don't know how he got all those followers and those supporters, but I'm going to assume that because he's a very confident man and he thinks he's right, that his supporters are persuaded by that. I'm going to skip over cues for now and then talk about tallying heuristic and then take the best heuristic. This is also one that I found from my research. The tallying heuristic talks about the number of times something shows up. For example, if you're searching in a database and you see topic A show up a bunch rather than topic B, you're going to go with topic A. For the take the best, it's in the name. You're going to take the best option. So let's go back to the database example. It really only considers the best option, the next best option when there's a tie. So let's say there's a really good scholarly article about our topic A, and you're going to choose that one, but then somebody's like, hey, this is a really good article, you should use this. You're going to consider that next best option, but which one is the best? The next heuristic I found is the compass moral, and it bases its decisions on moral norms. Moral norms are a lot like social norms, except they really focus on morality and what is right versus what is wrong. So this heuristic says that you're going to do what is right according to the society you live in. So what's right in the United States culture is not right in like China, stuff like that. I'm going to go back up here to cues. Cues are things that help heuristics and decision-making things make those decisions. They are accessed via cue acquisition and cue evaluation. Cue acquisition is how you develop the cues, so it's in the name. You acquire something in cue acquisition. You acquire cues. The two little subtopics of cue acquisition are cue perception and cue production. Cue perception is when you assimilate new information from your environment, and cue production is when you're not given a cue, but you develop the cue from what you see in your environment. Cue evaluation is how decision-making things, decision makers, the heuristics, decide how to incorporate the new information cue into the already existing information bank in your brain. That's all for my project. Done. I did it. All done. Oh my God.